So she was like, this is my moment to like, manage the classroom as, my own classroom or so, and I was like really thrown off by that. Just like a tad bit of a recap of like the last of part one overall. But as I stated, there was a different routine for closing out the classroom, and this time she was like, well, now we have the kids, stack up all the chairs and then put them onto like one side of the classroom. And then oh wait, before I even like finalize that portion of the story, there was a other snag like that was like addressed luckily with the main teacher in the classroom when she popped back in for a brief bit from her meeting. We were like, doing we there was like a there were a few moments where like the kids were like, I've really got to go to the bathroom. We were like, okay. And I was like, well, last year they were fine and they were just able to, go to the bathroom by themselves. She was like, no, not this year. These kids aren't allowed to go to the bathroom by themselves. So I was like, is this like a new protocol, or is this like, just as it's like, is it something that you're like implementing yourself? And she was like, no, it's a new it's protocol. And I was like, wait, what? So I was able to talk to the main teacher of the classroom, and she like cleared it up. She was like, no, typically we wouldn't do those, but it's the beginning of the school year and they're really young, so we're with us getting them like used to the kindergarten environment and the school overall. They're still going from the home lifestyle and preschool lifestyles to the school environment, so we want to make sure that they're like brought to the bathroom, and then they come back in a group and they're learning the flow of being within a school. And I was like, okay, that's like cool. There's like some info and insight that kind of goes along with what's going on, and then on top of that it coincides with the question that I'm asking, rather than it kind of being one of those things where it's like the new lady, who I'm guessing, I don't believe she was like there last year, so I'm guessing she literally just started this year. She kind of didn't really have the insights of like the typical flows of the classroom, so she's kind of learning with the children on the aspects of the day-to-day aspects within the school and throughout the school year. So the beginning portion is going to be her, working with them and doing the, guided, trips to the bathroom, and then the end portion will follow as to the end portion of last year, where she'll be able to kind of, send the kids out, give them some more freedom within the school environment, and also work more with her team member to kind of analyze and get to know the flows and the changes throughout the school year as the kids adjust and develop more throughout their element.